What's up, my homies? Hoemguy here. So today I'm coming to you guys with another chess video. Yep, you know me. I really like chess. This isn't just going to be a one-off thing like some of the stuff that I do, because, I really like chess. It's a great game, and I figure if I like it, I might as well post it on the YouTube channel. So, hope you guys like them, because there'll be more coming, just like this one. So this video will be focusing mostly on sacrifices, and this really great sacrifice that I just did, it wasn't very long, like half an hour ago, but I sacked a knight to really open up my position, and it really allowed me to win and get a pawn to the other side, and as you see, I got queen and I checkmated him. So let's go back to the beginning. Just give me a second. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, I am the black pieces, and the other guy, he opened up with pawn to d4, and I replied with the best known solution as presented by Alpha Zero Stockfish Game. So I opened up with d5, he protects the pawn, and I attack his pawn, because look, if he moves his knight to c3, he can't take that pawn on d5, because if he does, I've played a couple games where they do, and they don't realize that if you take the pawn, then I can take it with my queen, and I'm up 3 points. Well, 2 points actually, because he took the pawn. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so then I go with that pawn, can't move it to e5, because then he'd take with the pawn and be up 1. Anyways, so then he moves the pawn, I take, he takes, then I move my bishop forward to get it out there. He moves his bishop, pinning my knight. I can actually move this pawn forward, and it'll be a constant line of trades, and I'm not going to go into it, but it would have ended up with me being good. I could have moved that pawn on c8 to d7 to protect it, but I didn't, and he takes with his knight. I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I take, and what he really should have done is take my queen so I couldn't castle, and that's a really good trade because then he also has that pawn on the black squares targeting my king if he needs to check me at all. But anyways, he takes with that knight, and I have no idea why he did, because I take, he can't castle, and my white bishop's in play. Because normally the bishop of your same color is the stronger one, because that's where your opponent's king starts on. And when you castle, that's also the square they're on. Science. Okay, so continuing, that's where I actually sacked it. He takes that. I check him, which forces him to either move his king, move that pawn on f2 to f3, or take. And that just, it totally opened my position. So if he had moved his king, I probably would have been in trouble. But he takes with that. I castle queenside, which I don't always recommend, but in this case it was really good because it puts him in check, and he has nothing to block it. He would basically just have to move it. So instead of moving it, he moves that bishop there, and now that's bishop's pinned, and he doesn't want to move his king, and he can't castle, so, it's just pinned there. Because here's the thing, if he had moved his king, that would have been completely wasted move. But anyways, yeah, actually, I take that back. E1 might have been okay, and actually, E1 would have really sucked. E2 actually might have been okay, because if you see this move that I do, I move that knight there, and he moves there. I move that rook there, and he moves there and takes my pawn and puts that pressure on that other rook, the rook on d8. Anyways, so now he can't move to any of the squares on the e-file, so the only move that his king has is c1, and, well, you'll see soon that that's not a very good move. Anyways, so pawn goes forward. I double up those rooks on that 7 row against that knight, so he's basically just forced to move. Anyways, so moves there, I move my pawn, which forces him to move. He moves, I move my pawn there, so he can't move back, and that knight is pretty much screwed. Anywhere he moves, he's done, except for g1, but that limits his rook capabilities, and you don't want that. That's stupid. Anyways, so let's get back into it. So he moves that rook over there, proposing a rook trade, and I take, because I got a plan. So he takes with that knight. I move my knight there to attack that bishop, and he can't move the bishop because that king's pinned. Anyways, so he moves there. I take, but he can't take my knight because, and listen here, I have my rook protecting it. So he's basically just forced to move or do something like that. So I was down 5, and I just replaced it all, and now I'm only down 2. And that sacrifice really made the difference because it totally opened my position. So I could move my rooks wherever I wanted, and I could move my knight wherever I wanted, but all of his pieces were super limited. So he moves there, moves his king. I move there, opening this move up, which checks his king, and his king only has 3 spaces that he can move to. He decides to move to b2, and I reply by moving to d1, I believe it is. No, d2. Anyways, if he had moved like if he had moved to either c1 or b1, I might have been a little bit more in trouble, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world. I actually would have been in decent shape because I would have forced his king to move, and I would have had the optionable rook trade. But anyways, I move there, check his king, take that with his knight. He really shouldn't have taken that trade because I get up a bunch of pawns because of that. Here, look, I take. Well, anyways, he takes, I take, and I have that pawn on h2 really just pinned. So he moves there. I move my rook right there, splitting, so he needs to decide which one to take. And I have that small pawn diagonal on h6 and g5 just to prevent whichever one he doesn't move, whichever one I don't take from moving forward any, or it'll just get taken. So he splits those 2 pawns, but I don't really care because I already have 2 pawns that I'm able to move. So I need to move it out of the way. I want to put pressure on his rook. Anyways, so then he moves and takes the other pawn. I move there, waiting to move to the g file and move that pawn forward. Anyways, he tries doing that. I move there, and I'm not having any of that because I'm just continuously moving it. He has like no way of winning, and I have no idea why he moved his rook to h7 because I just take there, and the game is completely over. Because even though I took that, it's not the end of the world because look at that beautiful queen. She's so sexy. Anyways, I move there. Pawn put me in check, so I couldn't take his rook. We move there, move there, move there, and it's over here. Because look, I check his king, move there, check it again. He moves there, and it's game. Checkmate. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I really enjoy making these videos. I love chess, and I love analyzing stuff because I think I'm probably a little ADHD. Anyways, so remember, sacrifices are great, and don't get checkmated because that's not good. But anyways, guys, peace.